Yo, I've got some words today that are simple, relatable, and actually useful. By the end of this, you'll see these words everywhere and actually remember them. Let's dive in. Stern. You know that look someone gives you when they're not angry, but they're definitely not smiling? That tight, serious face basically says, "Don't try nonsense." Yeah, that's stern. It's when someone is firm, serious, or strict. Let me show you what I mean. One time in class, I laughed at a joke my friend whispered. I looked up and saw the lecturer giving me that stern stare. Laughter died instantly. And then there was my mom. When my little brother broke a glass, she didn't even raise her voice. She just gave us that stern look that made both of us confess things we didn't even do. Even with friends, sometimes I have to give a stern warning like, "Guy, don't try that again," without shouting. Just serious enough to reset sense. So yeah, stern isn't loud. It's serious, controlled authority. Enough to make you sit up straight without being told. And speaking of moments when we misjudge situations, let's talk about naive. Being naive is when you trust easily, believe quickly, or see the world too innocently, like you don't expect people to misbehave. Picture this. I once gave a friend my diary because I thought she'd never read it. She opened it like it was a novel and started laughing. I just stood there like, "So, I'm the clown." Or the time I ordered shoes online because the picture looked like designer ones when they arrive. Bro, it was made of rubber. Even in conversations. Back in school, I believed everyone who said, "I promise I won't tell anyone." Guess what? They told everyone. So, being naive isn't stupidity. It's innocence. It's trusting before thinking, believing before checking. And speaking of people who make life difficult in a different way, let's talk about a bore. To bore someone means to make them feel uninterested or mentally checking out. Like, "Please, can this finish?" Trust me, you've met one. I once sat through a class where the lecturer read every line from the slide. I got so bored and started playing games on my phone. A guy once talked about himself non-stop, trying to impress a girl. She almost dozed off from boredom. So, yeah, a bore is anyone or anything that drains the energy out of a room without even trying. But life isn't always boring. Sometimes it gives us tough choices instead. Let's get into a dilemma. You know that frustrating moment when you have two choices, and somehow both of them will stress your life? That tight, uncomfortable crossroads you didn't ask for? Yeah, that's a dilemma. Let me paint the picture. Like the day I had to choose between reading for a test I had the next morning or sleeping because my eyes were closing on their own. Either way, suffering was guaranteed. Or when you want to save money, but your guys are calling you out for shawarma and vibes. The dilemma was loud. Enjoy now, suffer later, or behave now and still suffer. Another time, I had to decide whether to confront someone who annoyed me or just keep quiet and let peace reign. So, yeah, a dilemma is basically life saying, pick your problem. And speaking of situations where you're completely unaware you're in trouble, let's talk about oblivion. Oblivion is that state where you're completely unaware, like the world is moving, but you don't even know what's happening around you. Here's what I mean. There was a day I was so tired I didn't hear my alarm, my ringtone, or my roommate shouting my name. I was lost in oblivion. Or when everyone knew about something trending except me, I was walking around confidently in pure oblivion. So, yeah, oblivion is that space where you don't know what's going on. And honestly, sometimes it's bliss. And that's a wrap. words today were simple, smooth, and relatable, just like life. Share your own example of using one of these words below and hit like if this video made sense to you.